Hi guys, and welcome back for this week's episode. This week's was all about setbacks. Now this is actually about my fourth recording of this episode, and the reason is I found that I became very much depressed and monotone, and I was really negative. And yes, that's part of what the topic is about, so it kind of felt natural, but at the same time, it's not about where I was at, it's about where we're going. So I'll give you a bit of a story as to why this is the topic for this week. So I set myself a lot of goals at the start of the years. I wanted to shift a lot of weight. I wanted to be able to play rugby. So I was looking to build up some activities and, getting better, active, more in shape, and change the way I live my life. And I was making some good progress towards it, and I had a couple of setbacks. I had an ankle injury, I had a back injury that I already had, but exacerbated it a little bit at the gym. And I went away on holiday, came back, and I was really slow getting back into things. My diet slipped. My activity at the gym had dropped off. I was starting to take the excuses. Equipment's being used. I'll just head off home. It wasn't good, and as a result, my progress completely halted. I've been sat on the same weight now for about a month without any change, which is frustrating to say the least. And the reality is that the only person to blame for all this is myself. It's not down to anybody else. No one's prevented me from going to the gym. No one's prevented me from eating better. It was literally my mindset had seemed to have shifted away from all the progress I was making to holiday mode, and it just never kicked back in. Now, I was recently on watching a web series with Clayton. I'll tag him on the post, and it was a really good topic. And he asked, what is the worst thing you want to hear from your team members? And I'm pretty sure my response was along the lines of, what's the point? Because whenever I've heard that in the past, it's a signal to me that a member of my team is completely detached from the outcome. They don't care anymore. They've lost interest. And it sort of hit home that I was starting to get that way a little bit with my own goals. And despite the fact that while I was away on holiday, I was thinking, where do I want to be 5, 10, 15 years from now? And it was much more active, a healthier lifestyle than I currently have. That was all mindset me rather than reality me. And trying to bridge the two of them, that requires a lot of motivation, and you have to really stick with it and drive yourself forward. And my head just was not taking me on that path anymore. And I was like, I'd taken up trying to learn Welsh. And I got to this point where I hit a bit of a stumbling block. I couldn't quite make the transition from one unit to the next. I was really struggling with it, so I just stopped pushing it, and I just started reviewing what I already knew, rather than tackling this new difficult content. And as a result, my streak's still going on Duolingo. I'm well over 100 days now, but my progress isn't really going anywhere. And the realization that this was happening is a big kick for me, because I may seem more active than I was 5 months ago, but my mindset slowly started dragging back to where it was. And that wasn't a good thing. So it got me to thinking, how does this apply to us all? Because I think we all go through this in life, whether it's in work, at home. We'll all hit points where, we think we've plateaued, we think that's us, or we start to question, maybe I'm not good enough for what I'm being asked of, or for the job I've got, or for the goals I want to achieve. Maybe that's just not me. Maybe I'm not the guy that goes and plays rugby. Maybe I'm the guy that watches rugby. It's annoying that we allow ourselves to feel this way, but we all do it. I've seen that in my children over the years, where they start to doubt themselves, and you need someone behind you sort of picking you up and saying, look, you can do this. And as much as it's nice to have that externally from somebody else, I think the key to it all is hitting that switch in your head that you remind yourself that you're good enough to do these things, that you can keep going, you can push harder. Now, one of the things I've always loved is Rocky movies. A great quote in Balboa, which is, it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And it's one of those things, it's such a powerful statement, because no matter what you do in life, you're going to face setbacks. And, you're going to plateau at points. You're not always going to be on constant improvement. Sometimes you'll stop seeing those improvements. You might not even see them in yourself, but they're happening. And you overcoming an obstacle, even if it doesn't change anything on the scales or on the weights you lift or on the work you're doing, just you overcoming that obstacle and keep pushing forward with a mindset is a huge thing. And it's definitely what I'm working on. It's definitely where I see my life going and where I need to work on more. And it's like quick 5-minute exercises. Unusual one for everyone. I've recently developed an interest in golf. Okay, I've never played golf in my life. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I picked up a cheap set of clubs and I was playing around in the garden, doing a few putting exercises, things like that. And I decided to go down to the range and hit a few balls. They didn't really go very far or very straight. Really bad experience, but it was fun. And when I came home, I was like, I need to get better. I can't be going down to this range, paying money and barely hitting the ball 150 yards. Something's wrong with what I am doing. And I don't know enough to fix it. So went up to the community on, posted a video of me swinging at a golf ball and asked for some feedback. And I was given some great advice, simple steps, do this on your approach, do this as you're swinging back. And it's simple things. But my mind didn't make the connection that these things would, develop a better swing or hit the ball further or whatever it is. And I'm already starting to feel much more confident. And even though coming back from the range, I'd had fun, but I was like, I'm never going to be able to play a round of golf. Now I'm sat going, I can't wait till I can play a round of golf because I actually feel confident that I'll be able to do it. And it's that mindset, you might need to get assistance from a third party. So if you are struggling, if you are experiencing a bit, whether it's personal, professional, whatever it is, and your head's not quite in it and you want someone to speak to, drop me a message. We'll have a chat, completely confidential. I'm never going to discuss it with anybody else. It won't get brought up on an episode here or anything like that. But if you need someone to speak to, you need just someone to listen, I'm here for you. Drop me a DM. Let's have a chat. And I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you can see how this can apply to both personal and professional life. So let me know what you think. Drop us comments and we'll see you again next week. And hopefully we'll have a more upbeat topic to discuss and something a little bit more positive for everyone. You have a great weekend. Bye-bye.